Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new spoiler review of The Mandalorian. We are on Chapter 14 called The Tragedy. Welcome back here, guys, to Max Talks Movies. Before I get into my spoiler review of this brand new episode of The Mandalorian that dropped today on Disney+, let me know your thoughts, spoiler fashion, in the comments section down below. Is one of your least favorite episodes in the entire season or the show itself? Also, know your spoiler thoughts of the episode in particular. Break it down for me. Did Robert Rodriguez do a good job with the episode? And let me know your predictions, your spoiler predictions for the next two episodes, the last two episodes of the entire show of the season 2. So let me know in the comments down below. Also, best way to support the channel is also hit that like button. Also, please subscribe, and let's get into the review. So I was kind of skeptical about this episode because we've come off really 3 consecutive really great episodes of The Mandalorian. If you've been watching these reviews, if you're new to the channel, you can also check out my other episode reviews. But if you're new, again, I love season 2 much more than 1 as a fan of Clone Wars and Rebels. Seeing Ahsoka and seeing Boba in this season. And we get the tragedy right off the bat. I was like, so we're going to Tython right away. So I was like, what is going to happen right now? So I thought we were going to see the Jedi at the end of the episode, but I was like, if we're just going to do it now, let's just do it now. And we get to Tython, and we see Boba Fett's ship come in. And it's very, very exciting because you have Tamora Morrison is now completely going to be in the fold for the rest of the season as Boba Fett. And we do realize that Fennec, who we thought was dead at the end of, I believe, episode 5 of season 1, and we saw Booth walking up to it, and we now know that was Boba Fett, that was Tamora Morrison. And they're now working together because Fennec is now in Boba Fett's debt. And beginning of the episode, the child Grogu, he's at that place where you have to sit and call on for the Jedi. Now, no Jedi did come this episode, which is a very fascinating thing because it said Ahsoka did tell Mando that Grogu would choose his path, either the light side and the Jedi would come searching for him, or the dark side, and we don't know which side Grogu really ended up choosing. But and yeah, we get that big interaction between Mando and Boba, and the idea of that Boba isn't a Mandalorian. He got the gear from his dad. He believes it belongs to him, and Mando doesn't want to give it up at first because Boba Fett has not been declared in a Mandalorian. And he doesn't know that they have a pretty similar backstory about them both being foundlings and that idea. So I really like that type of backstory. And then the Empire does come. While Grogu was doing that Force stuff on Tython in the Jedi Temple thing, because he's wrapped around that blue, I can't really call it, that blue shield thing, but Mando can't come to him. So Mando leaves him there because no one else can reach him. So once the Empire comes, Grogu was basically done with his Force stuff on Tython. And now you have Boba Fett and you have Fennec kicking some ass this episode. Fennec up top with the sharpshooter and this new weapon that I think the Sand People, we don't really have to see the Sand People use, but Boba definitely used it very well this episode. Really hitting those stormtroopers really hard, and it was really brilliant action set pieces directed by Robert Rodriguez, his first entry into The Mandalorian. Really, really enjoyed his direction of action. And then we turn around and Mando and Boba saw Mando's ship, and everyone, and even my mom was like, is she going to take Mando's ship? I was like, probably not. And he doesn't, because he shows up in Boba Fett armor. We get to see Boba Fett in his full gear. Chills are running down my spine. It was a brilliant reveal that Boba Fett was there fighting in his armor. And it's Boba Fett. He's such a badass. He's on a whole other level. And I know a lot of people who grew up with that original trilogy are going to love him back in this episode. And I thought it was brilliant. But also him and Fennec are a good team together. They really are a good team together. And it seems like they're going to be stuck together now for the rest of the season is what it looks like. And suddenly the dark troopers come and they take the child. And I was wondering, where's Moff Gideon? Two ships of stormtroopers came and nothing with Moff. And then you see the Mando ship gets blown up. And I felt very sad. I love that ship. We've made a lot of memories in that ship so far on our journey in The Mandalorian so far in the first 13 episodes. And the only thing that was left from the wreckage was the Beskar thing that he got from last week. So I thought it was very interesting that thing survived. Of course, it's Beskar. But the Death Troopers take the child. Boba Fett goes in his ship and tries to follow. And because he can't, because they want to save the child, they can't really go after the Death Troopers and the Dark Troopers and kill them. So he wants to see where they're going, and they go to a Imperial cruiser, and Boba Fett says the Empire is still around. That's kind of his first realization that the war isn't really over yet, because while the New Republic is technically still is running things in the galaxy, you have this little set of Empire still there, and Boba didn't really know that. And so Boba knows what he's in for, but he comes down because he can't go after Gideon in his own ship. So he comes back down. We learn that the deal is over because, at least in Mando's eyes, the deal was over because he's going to let Boba keep the armor. It does say that it was Jango's before Boba's, which is a really good callback to Jango Fett this episode as well. But then Mando learns that Boba was a foundling, he wasn't born on Mandalore just like Mando. They were just founded by the Mandalorians and took on their armor. Very, very similar characters, and that's why he lets Boba keep the armor. But then Boba says the deal's not over yet because you gave back the armor. We are in your debt to save the child. So basically, Boba Fett's going to be working with Mando until Mando gets the child back, is what it looks like. And we are now heading full force now into the last 2 episodes of the show. It's very sad that we're only 2 episodes left. I believe Rick Famuyiwa is directing the episode 7, and Favreau is taking us home on 8. But as I told you, skeptical because I thought sometimes after these big episodes in Mandalorian, they come back with a filler episode. Not really a filler episode, but just an episode that doesn't really matter to the overall story, just a fun side quest. And this was literally all story, the main story here. And we had to see Grogu force throwing 2 stormtroopers on Moff's ship. And then Moff, they shoot Grogu with the stun. They stun him. He's passed down. They put him in shackles. And after we end things, I thought Moff was going to probably talk to someone who's above him, but he went to Grogu. And they're going to send the message to Pershing that they have Grogu. So, and then we also saw Mando go back to Navarro asking for Cara Dune's help. And she did take up on that mantle. She's now a part of the rebellion, which I thought was a nice addition to her character development. And it seems like we're all going to come together here. Boba Fett, Fennec, and Mando are going to be in their own Cara Dune, and maybe Carl Weathers will be in their own area. We're definitely going to have to see Bo-Katan again because once again, Giancarlo Esposito, Moff Gideon did bring out the Darksaber to Grogu. So you know that Bo-Katan, that's her mission is to find Darksaber and find Moff Gideon. So it feels like everyone's converging on Moff Gideon. And how are they going to get the child back? It's going to be a really interesting last 2 episodes. Do we even see Ahsoka again? Do we see a Jedi come to Grogu's assistance? Because we don't know what happened when he did that Force thing this episode. Did it lead him to the dark side or the light side? Just a really fascinating episode of The Mandalorian. So guys, again, this is not one of my favorite episodes of the season. It's a really solid, really good episode of Star Wars television that connected everything. It was all overall story, great reveals. Boba Fett and Fennec are just badasses going to work. And I can't wait to see these last 2 episodes. I'm getting very anxious and excited for these next 2 weeks here on Disney+. So thank you guys so much for joining me on my spoiler review of Chapter 14 of The Mandalorian. Before I go, guys, once I said, hit the like button. That's the best way to support the channel so more people can check out this content here on Max Talks Movies. Also, please leave me your spoiler thoughts. Tell me your thoughts of this episode. Also, as I said, let me know your spoiler predictions. What will happen, guys, in the last 2 episodes of The Mandalorian? Let's have a nice discussion in the comments section down below. Earlier today, I did my spoiler review of the special episode of Euphoria. I'm also coming back with 2 more reviews today, Mank and Godmothered, and then this weekend, Big Mouth. So all these big reviews are happening on this YouTube channel, so you got to ring that bell and subscribe to know when I drop these videos on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. Please support me in the best way you guys can, and I'll see you guys very, very soon.